Good morning, Tony Maritato here, physical therapist, and in this video, behind me on the screen, I'm looking at Google and I typed in the question, what does it take to open a physical therapy business? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a rapid fire Q&A, just going through probably the first 10 or so questions related to starting your own physical therapy private practice. So the first question, and probably the most common question is, how much does it cost to start a physical therapy business? Like most things in therapy, it depends. You could start a mobile practice tomorrow for zero upfront cost. It does not cost you anything to become a Medicare Part B provider. You can enroll for free. You don't have to have leases and equipment and expensive investments. You could literally start treating Medicare patients under the Part B coverage in the patient's home without any extra equipment cost. You need liability insurance, which you should already have. That probably costs about $150 a year. You need transportation so you can get to the patient's house, which you probably have. Beyond that, you need your brain. You need your mind, your clinical decision making, your assessment skills, all of the stuff that you paid for in college. So you could literally start a private practice physical therapy clinic tomorrow, zero upfront cost or zero additional cost, and just test the water. See if it's something that you think you're gonna like. So how do I start a physical therapy business? Well, that's gonna be state dependent, county dependent. Different states are gonna have different regulations. For example, in New York, if you wanna start a physical therapy business, you have to apply for licensing. You have to use, I believe you have to use the terms physical therapy if that's what you're doing. And if you bring in any partners or co-owners, if you bring in an employed therapist, they have to be a partner or a co-owner. Down in Florida, it was a lot easier. We had an occupational license. It was like 25 bucks a year and we could get started. So you have to look at not just third-party payer guidelines and not just State Practice Act, but you have to look at the business rules and regulations for your particular state. But I will say that not every therapist needs to start right out of the gate with an LLC or some other business entity. You could literally, you're a professional, you have a professional license. You could literally just start with what you have, confirm proof of concept, make sure it's something you know you want to do, and then from there, you can go into building a business, getting all the licensing for that business, hiring staff, building a team, and so on. Are physical therapy businesses profitable? So that's a great question. Obviously, there are some that are incredibly profitable and some that are losing money. It just depends on what the business model is. If you're going to be all third-party payer, if you're going to be hybrid, combining third-party reimbursement and cash-based services, or cash only. It depends on your level of marketing and expertise and understanding of efficiency for business. I know plenty of businesses that bring in 2, 3, 4 times the revenue that I bring in, and they're less profitable than my business. So this is one of those things where it tends to be a little more of a spending question than an earning question, but there is still profit in the world of physical therapy. Certainly the conventional model of open a clinic, hire a bunch of staff, hire a bunch of admin and clinical, and then pay them a fair salary, that's probably not as profitable as it used to be because of declining reimbursement and increasing regulation. But if you're looking at getting started and you want to go on your own and you want to do a side gig or you want to do full-time mobile therapy or brick and mortar or a combination of the two, you absolutely. I have another video where I show you, even if you just did Medicare reimbursement under Part B, you did 20 visits a week, you'd be looking at $100,000+ in revenue a year. If you don't have any staff, you don't have any employees, you don't have any overhead, that's a pretty decent income. 20 patient visits a week. So look for that other link. But yeah, PT is still a profitable endeavor. Do you need to be licensed to practice physical therapy? Absolutely. Like if you're thinking about physical therapy, maybe you're pre-PT or you haven't even gone down this road, yes, you need to get a degree as a doctor of physical therapy. You need to be licensed by the state. You can only work in the states where you are licensed, but That is an absolute requirement. How much does a PT clinic owner make? Well, it depends again. How much do you want to reinvest? What are you doing right now? Are you running a practice for cash flow, or are you running a practice for a long-term investment, payout? What's your exit strategy? So there's really kind of two options here. Many therapists today are running their business for cash flow. They're treating patients on their own and they want the money in their hand. They're going to put that money to work somewhere else. Historically, business owners would build businesses. So you'd open a clinic, make it profitable, open a second, a third, a fourth. You might finance and do it all in one shot. You would build your practice to 20 plus locations. Then you would package it and you would sell it. You'd get your EBITDA and you'd get all your finances in order. You would sell it and that would be your cash out. You wouldn't make much money while you were building the business, but you would make the money on the back end when you sold the business. Both are profitable strategies. Both require a specific roadmap to get to your goal. The worst possible thing I see happen is when a therapist thinks, I'm going to go treat patients and I'm going to build this business to something that I can sell. That starts to get kind of sticky. It's just so much easier if you have a clear path to a goal. Even if you stumble, even, the saying, the plane that leaves LaGuardia, New York, flying to LAX across the country, it's off course the entire flight, but it has its destination in the map and it's constantly making those micro adjustments so it does end up landing where it's supposed to on the time, hopefully, that it's supposed to. So just stay focused. Understand, laser sharp focus will get you to where you want to go in the quickest time. Let's see if we can get two more of these. Are physical therapists in demand? So those of you who are in school right now, we're coming out of a year-long pandemic. We're coming out of lots of economic uncertainty, lots of challenges facing the profession of healthcare in general. Yes, physical therapists, physical therapist assistants are still in demand. I can tell you right now, today, I've got 2 clinic locations. I easily could try to hire more clinical staff. The challenge is finding the right clinical staff for a niche, small practice like mine. But absolutely, therapists are still in demand. They still have a bright future. They're still going to be, if you're above the 50% mark, you will have a job if you want to work. That's not changing anytime soon. And then let's see if we can hit one more. How long does physical therapist have to go to school? Well, it used to be a bachelor's degree, then it transitioned to a master's degree. Now it's a doctoral degree. So typically you're looking at about 7 years after high school, right? 4 years undergrad, 3.5, 4 years, another 3.5 years post-grad. The investment starting to get a little expensive for sure. If you're looking at average PT student investing $100, $150, some upwards of $200,000, the question is, what is the longevity in your career as a therapist? Now, if you go the route of private practice ownership, you could have a 20, 30, 40 year successful career. Make the money back easily. But I will say that those clinicians that come out of school, get into the workforce, maybe they step out to start a family, to do other things, it's hard to make that investment back. So before you enroll in a PT program, before you apply, I really would encourage you to think long term. We have no idea what 10 years is going to look like. We have no idea what 5 years is going to look like. So you're making an educated guess. But I will say that the skills, the knowledge, the information you collect through your physical therapy program and the beginning or however long you're in their career, that knowledge is absolutely transferable. I think the best realtor, the best accountant, the best surgeon, they were a physical therapist before they transitioned into those careers. And they brought the knowledge and the skill set and the critical thinking of being a physical therapist. They brought the soft skills of communication and understanding what the client is looking for and how to help. They brought the power of placebo the understanding of placebo into their next profession, and they just blew it out of the water, because those skills are transferable into anything you want to do into the future. So I am still bullish on the profession of physical therapy. I do believe being a physical therapist is still an outstanding financial investment long term, but I think we have to change our perspective. We can't look at it anymore as, I'm going to become a therapist, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to clock in, clock out, and, sit back on my pension. Probably not going to happen in that way. But absolutely, if you want to take control, if you want independence, if you want to start working toward a future that you have control over, I think PT, OT, SLP, any of the 3 disciplines are phenomenal for those young individuals, and not so young. PT as a second career is a great opportunity. So think about it, post your questions, tell me what I missed. I'll do more of these random Q&As as time goes on, but I just wanted to get this information in your hands. Guys, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I wish you the best in your private practice endeavors. I'll see you on the next video.